What's up, saber people? this is a this is a demo of a saber that I made for myself. So this is kind of a mashup between Starkiller and then just some different things. Right? So this was made from a Canon Y bottom that that a good friend and customer Jeff Rhodes sent me, so that I could make something for myself, which I thought was pretty cool. So I wanted to hurry up and do that, and I had a Graflex 2.0 core and upper shroud, and so I got to work. I've been working on this probably for about a week, and I made this kind of dirty. So all the sabers that I make, I like them dirty and used and actually look like they've been through it. And yeah, so that's what I tried to do to this guy. For the upper shroud, I broke it all the way down past the chrome to the bare brass, and then I etched it and weathered it with some aluminum black so that it would get like kind of a dark patina over time, and it looks very old. I broke this down to the brass and then just weathered it. I did that today, so in about a week, this guy will catch up to looking like this a little bit, and they'll match. But that's what I did there. When you take the internals out of this Canon Y out, you have a lot of gaping holes. So you basically have these five here, this one in the middle and the two on the sides. And then you've got this one right here that a dial is on here when all the internals are in. So I covered those up. I put some brass mesh on these from the inside. And then I put some blade diffusion material here that I painted black. I painted black, but it has shine through, and I'll show you that here in a second. Took the clamp here from the Canon Y off this piece, obviously, and mounted it up here. So I have a 2-button setup. My front switch is my activation. My back switch is my auxiliary. I've got CC sabers in here, and then spent a lot of time on this crystal chamber. Crystal chambers can be a little bit difficult for me just because you need to build them from parts that you got laying around or parts that you need to go get. So you gotta have to map that out a little bit. So there's some automotive mesh there in the back. This main piece right here is from like a hose clamp. There's a real quartz crystal in there. There's just a random brass piece that I found that's holding that crystal, and then what you don't see under that's holding that brass piece for the crystal that you'll see light up is I actually 3D printed a holder that's got about 16 different holes all the way around it so that I could get some shine through. This crystal right here has its own pixel accent, so it does its own thing, but right under the crystal, what you don't see is I've got one of these. I've got one of these right here. This is an 8-pixel circular PCB, and it did not fit under there. I had to do quite a bit of sanding right up against the terminals for the LEDs, so I wasn't even sure I was going to get that to fit in there this time. I've done this one other time to a Starkiller, and it came out really nice, but that one was pretty questionable too. So, but I was able to sand the size of this down and get it to fit up underneath my crystal, and that's why I made that 3D printed holder with all the holes. So this guy is wired in line with the pixel accents on my chassis. So on this Canon Y handle, I wanted to not only cover up those holes, but I wanted to light them up. But they're on different locations. You got this one's up towards the top, and then these ones are backed out a little bit. So I made a custom chassis where you've got these ones right here, these LED strips, or this LED strip, and then forward a little bit you've got this smaller guy, so that will accommodate the two different areas that I need to light up on the handle, and it works out well. My Proffie board here, just a snap fit, Empire logo, Smuggler's Outpost logo here. I got an SO Elite speaker, 28mm I'm running. Removable battery setup. Oh, spring size, my negative. And what else we got? That's about it. I don't have a blade retention on this because I don't swing around my sabers. I don't duel with them. I don't beat stuff with them. I casually turn them on every once in a while for some entertainment. See what it's doing, play around with it for a minute, put it back on the shelf. So what I like to do on my Starkillers, on my personal Starkillers for blade retention, is I'll take one of these pins right here and I'll leave the threading a little bit long so it sticks. I don't think you're going to be able to see it on camera, but it sticks in the blade socket just a hair, just enough to where I have to push my blade pretty hard past it, and then that holds my blade enough for me. If it were for someone else, I put these pins on one side, I go over here on the other side, and I drill and tap that for some sort of a set screw, and that's what I'd use for blade retention, or I could use that hole right there that I haven't used yet for blade retention as well, but I chose not to do that. This is an old piece from a Cloud City Sabers conversion kit that I had laying around that I weathered up, and then this pommel is from a Cloud City Sabers conversion kit also that I cut the threads off and I JB welded to this Canon Y here so that I could have a pommel. I didn't want to buy anything. I wanted to use as much stuff as I had laying around as possible, and it turns out I've been accumulating a lot of crap. So there's a lot to choose from. So yeah, that's how I made that work. Let's throw a battery in. So we'll throw this handle on. Just like this. And now you can see the crystal right here is kind of doing its own thing right now. We'll turn the light off. So you turn it on. And now you can see that where that holder comes into play. If you look down in there, I got this lighting up like I wanted to. All this lighting up. CC sabers are going pretty strong. Nice and loud. Auxiliary. And when you tap that auxiliary, you see it in your crystal chamber. We'll throw a blade in there. I've got 2 rods coming down the sides of my crystal chamber, more on the ribs, that are from Phil Guinness. These were made specifically for center rods for Starkillers. I have a couple laying around that I wanted to use on the sides here, and then I used some guitar string, not only on the sides, but you maybe kind of see it in there. There's 2 guitar strings coming that are connecting the top piece down to the bottom piece that's actually holding the crystal. So if you could see that in there, maybe kind of like that. So we'll throw a blade in this guy. This takes a 7/8 inch blade, just like all the old 2.0s that you don't see anymore. I did take these bunny ears. These bunny ears are from the Graflex shop. I grabbed the wrong size blade. These bunny ears are from the Graflex shop, and I ordered those, and then I just torched them. All right, I torched them so they look nice and old and beat up and nasty, because that's how I wanted the saber to be. I didn't want anything clean on this saber. Just like that. So you see we got motion controls, or we could just come over here and hit the power button. This is the Sith chant.
Ancient warriors would mark themselves with the blood of their kill. It's a rite of passage.
This is the Predator font that originally Preston made me for my Predator saber from Carl Danby over at Volta Valhalla, but I put it on here because I like it. It's got a bit of a pre-on. But I got all that lighting up. I like how the blue from this ring right here will go right past the crystal and it will light up the top of the chamber. So that's all doing what I wanted to. And then I've got the Merrick for Starkiller, right? So yeah, we took the handle off. This is what it looks like with the handle off. Looks cooler with the handle on. So yeah, those LEDs in the chassis. And then you can see that, you can kind of see that ring and the cutout right there. Just like that. But anyway, yeah, that is my that's the saber I made. Just got done with it today. I do these for other people all the time, so I try to do one of these for myself, or at least a demo video for myself every so often. I got a few more sabers in my collection that I haven't installed yet, and then when I, you know, if I get around to installing those someday, I will. But as I do, I'll do demos for those too, and just kind of sprinkle those in with customer demos. But anyway, yeah, Starkiller variant. Thanks for watching.